Coconut oil and butter are both junk foods. Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. I thought I would chat with you guys and gals a little bit about this today, but a quick reminder, if you guys will please click like down below, be greatly appreciated. If you're not subscribed or following, please do so. And if you'll be kind enough to drop me a comment down below, I would appreciate it. So thank you so much. But again, please feel free to give your opinions. If you disagree with me, say so. If you guys have a reason that you legitimately believe I'm wrong, I'd love to hear it, but the data is pretty overwhelmingly conclusive and common sense should dictate this also. All right, this is going to be a blow to both vegans and carnivores. These two kooky groups love to pimp this food, right? The carnivores love to pimp butter. The vegans love to pimp coconut oil. Their reasoning being, well, it's an animal product, so it's good. It's a plant product, so it's good. This shows that both of these groups, the fact that these two groups have pimped these two foods individually based on this reason should be very, very clear, absolute proof beyond any shadow of a doubt that they are crazy religious cults based on dogma that have no interest in objective reality or in fact or evidence or science. Okay, this is your dead giveaway. These two foods. This is why I say they're the same thing. They're the same religion, just two coins of the same religion, and they're both insane. All right, and again, let's get over and talk about it. Let's talk about it for a minute. Look at the studies on either one. Should be common sense. They're both refined saturated fats, okay? They've both been isolated from their whole foods. They were removed from the matrix of their whole foods, and they are very, very high in refined saturated fat, both of them. Guess what happens when we study them? They do exactly what we would expect a refined saturated fat to do when taken out of a whole food. They can significantly elevate LDL-C. LDL-C is proven to be the primary driver of atherosclerosis and hardening of the arteries, artery plaque. Again, let me state, it is very well accepted that we have causation. The evidence extremely strongly shows this at this point. Almost no one disagrees. Everyone in the fields of cardiology says, yeah, it is pretty much the case. It's not speculation at this point. The evidence is extremely strong. Study after study after study, we know all the mechanisms, the causation. It's the cause, okay? Right? There's some other cofactors, but this is the big driver. And you will see it happen even no matter what size particles. You know, again, people argue, large versus small particles. One of them is worse than the other, but they both still do it. And that's the point. All right, so you get over, that's what the data shows, okay? And isn't that what you would expect, right? You've taken whole foods in their whole matrix, and generally we don't see a lot of that. Usually whole foods, it's not as bad. I mean, the coconut still can, but milk doesn't do that. So, I mean, that's the problem. These people will look at it and they'll say, but it's just milk. No, it's not just milk. That's like saying table sugar is just a sugarcane plant. It's the equivalent. People say, oh, it's not that extreme. It is that. It is literally that extreme. Why? You've refined and isolated one part of it, okay? And you've taken out the beneficial stuff. Sugar cane is got plenty of fiber in it. It's a plant. It's got some sweet to it. You can chew on it, but it's a ton of fiber. Okay, fiber mitigates most of the effects of fructose. Okay, fiber mitigates the effects of fructose. You strip it out. Now you have a refined sugar. Totally different the way we absorb it. Everything. Same thing happens with dairy. Like whole milk doesn't raise LDL. That's been noted. It's like, it's fairly benign. It's not like good. The fat in milk isn't good, right? But the negative effects are pretty much mitigated by all the other stuff in it. It's cardioprotective. All that protein, the ultra high quality protein, all the calcium, the magnesium, all those other things in the milk seem to be cardioprotective. And it seems to mitigate a lot of the negative effects of the saturated fat in milk. So we look at it in studies, a couple glasses of whole milk doesn't seem to elevate LDL for most people. Relatively safe, right? Relatively safe on that front. Now you might gain weight easily from it. Calorie dense, lots of fat, Okay, fair enough. Kind of what milk's intended to do. Makes baby cows gain weight, right? If we're drinking cow milk, whatever type of milk we're having to drink, I don't know what milk you're drinking. Be goat milk, human milk, whatever. Makes babies grow. All right, fair enough. The butter, when it's compared, doesn't do the same thing. Absolutely elevates LDL-C, elevates inflammatory markers when it's studied, when it's consumed. Even side by side, two groups, whole milk doesn't produce the same effect as the butter. It's not butter. All that stuff has been removed. It's all been skimmed off, and then it's been emulsified so that you digest it faster. It's been pre-digested on top of that. In what scenario, if any food like that to where that has negative effects to where we absorb it even faster is a good thing? I don't think so. Okay, this is a perfect example. You look at all the data, a reasonable person would conclude butter is junk food. Not because of some old hypothesis. We're talking do the direct testing in the lab. When people consume it, what happens? What does it do? Right? Junk food. Coconut oil, same thing. You had this thing with a bunch of fiber and a little protein in it. Right? This coconut. What'd you do? You squeezed all of it out. Like, we do that with a fruit juice. We all agree on how it's turned into a refined sugar really high in free fructose is a problem. Do that to an orange, right? There can be, it's not as healthy. Right? Coconut, you do the same thing. We've squeezed it all out. You now just have the quote unquote coconut milk when it's really not milk, it's nut juice. No lactose in it. There's no mammary glands. Coconuts don't have nipples, right? It's nut juice. So you're drinking this nut juice that's a pure oil loaded full of saturated fat. You've now removed all the fiber, all the stuff that is cardioprotective. You've removed it. Lo and behold, what happens? Your LDL-C goes up. Sorry, vegans, there's your whole issue. Well, we don't want all this meat because the saturated fat raises cholesterol, causes heart disease. But then these clowns will sit there and fry food in a refined saturated fat that causes heart disease because it's a plant. Just like these carnivores will do the same thing. Oh, but it's from an animal. Plants are the problem. Okay, because both of these groups are blithering idiots. They're both morons. They're both morons who are incapable of looking at objective data outside of their religion, because they're religions. Vegan and carnivore are religions. They're cults. And this shows their cult-like mindset. They are incapable of looking at data and saying, yeah, this is a problem, because no, animal product good or plant good. That's what their religion teaches, therefore that's what they stick to, and they will ignore the data till they're blue in the face, and they'll actually both go out of the way to insist they're healthy. You should eat lots of both. It's perfectly fine. Again, insanity. The reality is both of these foods are junk foods. They're both refined foods. They're both loaded full of saturated fat. They both provably in the lab, when people consume them, raise the markers that we know cause cardiovascular disease. They're both heart attacks waiting to happen. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative. I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.